Hi, this is in response to Misty Rain's video on the Jesus Camp thing. I remember viewing this video, actually several different footage of this video on YouTube a while ago, and it's still a very hot topic even today on some of the message boards I've talked about it on. Interesting thing about this response to the video is the story that Misty Rain told about her ex-husband and the church and how controlling they are. I know she's down in the South, Kentucky, I believe, which is Bible Belt country. The reason why I'm responding is because I went through a similar thing about a little over 2 years ago, just prior to my moving up here to Oregon. Thank the goddess that I'm up here in Oregon, where people are a lot more liberal and open-minded. The interesting thing is about 3 years ago, I met a girl online whose name I'll leave unmentioned. She was from Germany originally, been in the country about 10 years, has three beautiful little children. Her second husband took her to Texas. He's an American. And in a little town called Lufkin, Texas, very small town, southeastern, Assembly of God country, literally. I mean, everywhere I looked, there was an Assembly of God church in this little town. I met her online, went and hung out with her on her birthday for about 2 weeks, 2 or 3 weeks, and this was actually over a period of time before I went and finally saw her. We got to know each other and really kind of connected. And I made a mistake, and I admit it now, that I uprooted myself from California, where I'm originally from, which is very liberal, and moved down there with her because she could not leave the state and come to California with me because of child custody issues with her ex-husband. She wasn't allowed to leave the state. She couldn't be more than a few towns away from him. I moved down there not knowing what I was getting myself into. One of the reason why we connected is because, well, I'm very open about my spirituality. It's no secret, because I am from the West Coast. I'm a pagan. I follow the old Druidic traditions. I'm a member of Onriok Fang, that's ADF, it's the largest Druidic order in America. Second only to Obad, which is mainly out of England. And I have many friends throughout the pagan community, Wiccans, Hermetics, Hellenists, you name it. Native American spiritualists, shaman type people. The interesting thing is that I moved down there unaware what I was getting into. I mean, I knew it was Bible Belt country, and plus it was George Bush country, it's Texas. But the short period of time I was down there visiting, it seemed okay, so I uprooted, moved down there. Well, besides being a pagan, I'm also a fire dancer. That is, I perform with fire. I breathe fire, I spin it, if you've ever seen that kind of stuff. And for the first couple of months, it was fine. I mean, we even got to the point where we were talking about marriage, this and that. Me and the kids hit it off real well. And then one day I made a mistake, and we ordered a pizza, and I made a mistake of answering the door for the pizza without my shirt on. And I have tattoos on my body. I have the Lord of the Hunt on my back, and I have a crone's hand on my back holding the crystal ball, and I have a pentacle on my forearm. On my shoulder, not forearm. I have Jethro's toe on my forearm. And it turned out that the pizza delivery guy just happened to be a friend of her ex-husband. Well, here's where all our trouble began. Her husband and his whole family are very influential in the town of Lufkin, Texas, and are devout members of the Assembly of God church there. And they started raising hell. Literally started raising hell. He came over and threatened and this and that, and saying he didn't want his children around the Satanists and all this and that these people were devil worshippers, and we were devil worshippers, and we did this and that, and we steal little children and sacrifice them and molest them, and all this crazy stuff. And anyways, he had been very abusive to my ex-girlfriend, very abusive, beat on her, cheating on her, was in and out of jail, and stuff for use of drugs. He was a meth addict. She also told me he did. I've never heard of it, and I'm from California, and we're pretty much not ignorant when it comes to this kind of stuff. But he did funeral or what do you call that? Embalming fluid they use in funeral homes. I don't know how you get high off of that, but he used embalming fluid. And whenever my ex-girlfriend would go to their church and ask for help, they kept telling her, well, he's the husband, you got to do what he tells you. Told her, almost word for word, the same thing that Misty Rain's church told her about her husband. And it was pretty bad, let me tell you. It finally got to the point to where, well, the pastor's wife, little 80-year-old woman, come over, and her right in front of me, and they're telling, spending time with my ex, and telling her she needs to leave this guy and come back to the church and get back with her husband. It was the proper place. She shouldn't be living in sin and all this other crap. And it got pretty bad. It got to the point to where I had to leave with her crying, upset because she couldn't have a life. Her life consists of the internet because he runs off any man that she ends up with. So her whole social life is on a computer. I just recently got an email from her, and just out of a clear blue sky, says she'll get in touch with me soon. That she didn't have no computer or anything anymore, and that she'll kind of couch surfing. But her and the kids were doing good. Something about she finally got away from him, so I don't know what's going on. But the thing is about this whole video, this whole Jesus camp thing. They do that. It's just disgusting. This woman who runs the Jesus camp actually has the nerve to say that she'd be very glad to see those children in her church sit there and be willing to lay down their life for Jesus the way the Palestinians do for their religion over in Palestine. Does she realize what she's saying? It was all taken out of context. No, she was very clear about the Palestinian children are warriors. I have a friend who's from Lebanon. He said he had to go to church. Not church. He'd go to school with his books in one hand and an Uzi in another because they were warring in Lebanon between the Palestinians and the Christians. They were constantly fighting one another. He was just a little kid. They got little 7, 8, 9-year-old kids over there running around with guns declaring jihad. Okay, and this woman has the nerve to say that she wished our children were just like that for their religion. That's sick. That's extremist. That's just, I don't know. And George Bush and his cronies, they're the American Taliban, and that's exactly what this movement that Misty Rain's talking about is trying to create in our country. They're trying to create an American Taliban, or Taliban, or however you pronounce it. If you're not a Christian, you don't have no rights. That's the way they look at it. This is a Christian country, even though our founding fathers were mostly atheists. That's the interesting thing. And I think it was I'll find the links again about the quotes from these different people. But I'm about ready to run out of my 10 minutes, so I'm going to cut this off. I might respond with another video on this subject, but yeah, this is a serious subject, and we need to really deal with it. It's just, this movement has grown very powerful, very, very powerful in this country. They pretty much control the White House now, and the separation of church and religion church and state is disappearing. So we need to really put a stop to this American Taliban and the fundamentalist movement to support it. But I'm starting to ramble here, so I'm going to end this video now. I'll probably do another video on this. Anyway, bye.